Bindings are fairly turnkey right out of the box, but with a few small adjustments, you can make some big changes. Today, I'm gonna help you fine-tune your binding setup like a pro, whether you're on EST, reflex, strapped, or step-on. We're gonna start by breaking down each system so you can choose the best one for you. And then we'll move into the how-tos of fine-tuning it so you can get the best possible setup. All right, let's talk EST. Now, the one thing to get out of the way first is that the EST system only works on snowboards that have the channel. This is a 2-screw system with no hard base plate underneath, just foam. So you get a ton of board feel, you get some cushioning and dampening, and you also have infinite stance options. Now, Reflex is bringing us back to a more traditional binding tray system, meaning we're gonna have some hard plastics underneath, including a disc. With EST, we had infinite stance options, but when we have the disc, we are limited to 3-degree increments. One positive thing to note here is that you can put this binding on any snowboard. You are not limited to a snowboard that has the channel system. Now that we have an understanding of the Reflex system and the EST system, the next one to talk about is, pretty obviously, strapped and step-on. Now, strapped is your more traditional, tried and true binding. It has the ladders and buckles, any boot can go into it, you tighten it up and you go. Step-on, on the other hand, needs a dedicated step-on boot. There is no straps and you have the locking system in the heel. There's a conversation where people use this as a convenience, but I'm here to tell you there is a ton of performance built in as well. All right, now that we have the basics covered, we're gonna go into how to actually fine-tune these bindings so that we get the best ride possible. The first thing we're gonna do before you put your bindings on your snowboard is adjust the gas pedal. This is the foam piece and footbed underneath your boot. This is really important, and each system has a little bit of a different way of doing it, so I'm gonna walk you through each one really quickly. Step-on EST gas pedal adjustments is underneath the binding. This is why I said it's important you need to do it before you put your bindings on your snowboard. Now, these ones take screws, so you undo the screws and make sure you adjust the gas pedal based on your boot size. Once you line it up with your boot size, you can put the screws back in and you're ready to go. EST strapped does not have any tools. This one is adjusted underfoot, right in the middle. You pop up your foam, extend your gas pedal out to the correct size, and then you can snap it back down, completely toolless. Reflex is similar. Underneath the footbed, you'll be able to pop it up. This is completely toolless, and you'll see near the heel 4 slots with some number adjustments. You line that up with your boot size and then snap it back down. Adjusting the gas pedal is really important for people with large boot sizes. You need to extend the gas pedal so you have support and stability underneath your toes. If it's too far in, there's gonna be no foam there and you're gonna feel very unstable going onto your toes. All right, next steps is actually getting your bindings onto your snowboard, and we're gonna talk about your stance angles, your stance width, and centering your bindings. All right, we're gonna start with the EST system for this one. Now, once you have your inserts into the channel, we're gonna go ahead and place our bindings on top, making sure that the inserts are in the slivers on the side. In the middle there, that's also gonna pop into the channel that is your angle indicator. This is the area that's gonna give us all of those visuals. Now, through the window, we are looking for REF. That stands for Reference Stance Indicator. Every snowboard has a reference stance, and if you're looking for yours, it's gonna be printed on the top sheet, usually down by the back foot. So this one is 22 inches, which is gonna guide me whether I need to go wider or narrower depending on my stance width. So I'm gonna find my width, I'm moving it outwards a little bit, all the line indicators go up by 0.5 of an inch. So I have mine here. Next up, I am gonna find my angle, which is 12 degrees personally, and I am looking down at that angle indicator to line up. With EST, it's infinite stance options, so 12, 13, you're just kind of in that ballpark. Next up, we're gonna talk about centering, and this is the most important part and why I got you to do the gas pedal first. Now, we are gonna move either towards our toe edge or back towards our heel edge, depending on our boot size. This is where we're gonna try to eliminate too much toe hang or too much heel hang and really balance ourselves on the snowboard. It's very important so when we're snowboarding, it's not, very easy going onto our toes, but hard going onto our heels or vice versa. Once you feel good about your stance width, angles, and centering, lock in those screws and move on to the other foot. Reflex has a little bit of a different order of how we're gonna do stance angles, width, and centering. Because it has the disc, we're gonna make a lot of these adjustments before we put it onto the snowboard. So let's flip up the footbed, we'll grab our disc and we'll do our angle first. So remember, this goes up in 3-degree increments. Once you have your angle, you can place your disc down by giving a little bit of push, and now you can see that angle is locked in. Let's get your inserts ready. We'll bring them closer together so they fit right into the discs. And next up, before you mount it on, you're gonna do centering. So we have 3 options here. You're either moving the inserts into the furthest forward circles, which is gonna move you back onto your heel edge, and that's if you have a very, very large foot. If you have a smaller foot for these bindings, you may push it forward closer to your toe edge. Let's quickly talk about forward lean and high back rotation. Now, starting with forward lean, I think there's a bit of a misconception. Most people think that it's for racers or for half pipe riders, but that's not the case. I think all mountain riders can really get a benefit from it. What it does is it slightly increases the angle of the high back to either match your boot or push against your boot, so that when you initiate a heel edge carve and lean into it, it's gonna have a quicker reaction time and respond a little bit faster. Just a small amount of forward lean can be a noticeable difference, so don't go crazy on this. The way you adjust it is at the base of the high back, there's a dial with a plus and a minus. Just give it a simple twist towards the plus or towards the minus to adjust it yourself. It is completely toolless. Currently, you can only rotate your high back with strapped bindings. So really what I do is no matter what my angle is, I always try to match up roughly my high back to my heel edge. So the more angle you have, the more you're gonna adjust your rotation of the high back. The less angle you have, you might not need to rotate it at all. To rotate it, you'll notice a screw on each side at the base of the high back. Use a number 1 or a number 2 Phillips for this, and you can lightly unscrew it. You do not need to take it all the way out for this, just enough so that the screw has some freedom to move. Unscrew both sides a little bit, make your adjustments so that your high back is matched up with your heel edge, or roughly, it doesn't have to go all the way that far, and then tighten up these screws again. The last thing to adjust is for strap bindings only, because it is the straps themselves. Now, adjusting the strap size is dependent on your boot size. If we have a small, medium, large binding, then we know within all those sizes, we're gonna have a variety of boot sizes. So there are toolless screws on the side to adjust either outwards or inwards depending on your boot size. If you constantly find yourself maxing out these ratchets and buckles, then you know you need to shorten the strap so that it'll be able to tighten and end up in a normal place on the ladder. Same goes for the toes. Small adjustments make big changes. This is completely customizable. At the end of the day though, it's all about you as the rider. What is comfortable for you? And these minor changes, the more you play with them, the more you're gonna figure that out. So I wish you the best. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. Until next time, stay safe and we'll see you soon.